What's up, y'all? If you don't know me already, my name is Owen, and 2 years ago, I was running a window cleaning business that I built to $250,000 per year. But I saw what AI was doing. I knew it was going to take over the future of business, so I walked away from it and went all in on building an AI agency. After months of trial and error and plenty of sleepless nights, I was able to scale my agency to $40,000 per month. But don't take it from me, take it from this guy right here. Never ran a business, he never worked in tech, he's never sold anything in his life, all right? And within 60 days inside the Agent Cartel, which is my one-on-one mentorship program, he's already made $30,000. I'm just going to let him tell you his side of the story. All right, what up, guys? So I'm here with my boy Teddy right now. I get DMs every single day asking me if starting an AI agency actually works, right? Are people actually making money doing this? And instead of me just telling you, yeah, it works, I'd rather just show you, right? So Teddy's been inside the Agent Cartel, and I'm just going to let him talk. So Teddy, introduce yourself. Who are you, and what were you doing before you joined the Agent Cartel?
Yeah, so I mean, no, there's nothing special about me. I was pretty much just working a moving job before any of this. I I of course, taught myself some things through NAN and all that stuff, but honestly, I struggled with, the sales, the getting even a client in the door, onboarding and all that stuff. So that's kind of what I was looking to solve.
Cool, cool. And then I know before you joined, you had a ton of questions. So kind of walk me through like what were some of your doubts before joining the Agent Cartel?
You know, honestly, I had doubts of if this even was something that could possibly happen without it. If it was going to be worth my money, um, if I actually was gonna, get on calls with you and all that sort of stuff, because some people say what they're gonna do and they don't hold their end of the bargain.
Yeah, exactly. And that's everybody, by the way. So every person I've talked to kind of starts like that. But what would you say flipped for you and made you pull the trigger?
Um, Honestly, how responsive you were with the questions that I had when I was skeptical of coming in, and kind of just, seeing your online presence and that you actually knew what you're doing.
Cool, cool, man. And then since you've come into the program, give us kind of a timeline of how it's looked from the beginning to now.
Yeah, I mean, in the first month, I was able to close two deals for around $10,000, which was honestly crazy from my situation before. And then since then, I've been able to close four other deals for another 20K. So around 30K so far.
Crazy. Exactly, man. And let me make this clear. 30K from nothing. Teddy's not a tech genius, right? Were you in sales before this?
No sales experience. I mean, basic tech from, being on a computer, but nothing deep, no coding, nothing like that.
Exactly. So, I mean, the guys that are out there watching this thinking, I'm not technical at all. How am I supposed to do this? What would you say to them about getting into something like this?
Honestly, you don't need to be too technical at all. And it's not hard to learn at all. So honestly, there's no friction there whatsoever, I'd say.
Yeah. And then what about the other guys? You hear all the talk in the space. What about the guys saying that AI agencies are oversaturated or AI in general is oversaturated? What would you say to that?
I mean, honestly, you could say that about any single business. Um, but I mean, for helping businesses, there's way too many out there for it to not be possible for you to.
Exactly. Yeah. How many we at right now? 40 million, probably untouched still.
Yeah.
Something like that, right? It's insane. So with all that being said, who would you say that starting an AI agency is technically for?
Um, Honestly, anyone, if have the dedication, you have time on your hands to put yourself out there, and just, don't give up right away after the first fail.
Yeah. And how many times, right? How many business owners would you say you had to contact and get in touch with before you actually closed your first deal?
Um,
You had a
Honestly,
few family friends that you knew too at first, right? That can be helpful too.
yeah, didn't end up doing anything with them. And honestly, contacted hundreds and hundreds of businesses before I joined. I just, did cold outreach and all that. And, you know, So took many tries and took a lot of fails.
Yeah. So to the guys out there that maybe already tried to start their agency and they're doing the outreach, they're putting in the numbers, a few hundred dials per day, whether it's cold calling or they could be doing cold email, whatever it is, what would you say to those guys that are still getting told no, trying to make this work?
I mean, the no's suck and they hurt, but that one yes is much greater than that 100 or 200 no's.
Exactly. It's all part of the game, man. We are in sales at the end of the day. And then how did it feel for you? What would you say that feeling was when you caught your first deal and actually collected the payment, going from a mover to building your own AI agency, actually closing a deal? How did that feel?
I mean, you feel like a weight off your shoulders almost of the kind of stress, and you just kind of feel proud of yourself and eager to get that success again.
Good stuff. Yeah. And that's right there, right? Proving the concept, right? So you get that first close and now you kind of know, all right, this works. Now it's time to get started.
Yeah.
And then since you've joined the program, right, what would you say the biggest benefit for you has been so far?
I mean, of course, the one-on-one calls, solving all the problems, and having the people to talk to, as well as Owen and the coaches that have done it before and know the answers to the questions. But also the new sales softwares that have been introduced. They just really kind of help, maneuvering the sales calls, closing the deals, and getting through the whole sales process smoother and helping that close at the end.
Yeah, and I mean that's a big reason we're starting to introduce some of these softwares into the program as well, because you can, hop on calls with me and the coaches, things like that, and obviously get some work in. But if you want to be able to sit down and actually get in repetitions and be able to practice your sales pitch, right, your closing technique a lot, and you want to be able to put hours into this, it's going to be a lot more beneficial to be on a program, right, that is designed to do that specifically. So that's kind of why we're doing that there. But I'm glad you've benefited from that as well, man. Glad to hear it. All right, Teddy, I appreciate you hopping on, man. Is there anything else you kind of want to share before we hop off the call?
Honestly, I'll just kind of put it out there. If you know what you want to do and you can do it, there's no reason that Owen and Nate can't help you through that and get you to your goals. And you get everything you pay for.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Well, I appreciate it, Teddy. I appreciate you hopping on. Obviously, we will be chatting soon, man, but I'm going to finish this one off. So that's Teddy, all right? The dude was moving furniture before this, okay? He has no sales experience, no coding experience, nothing. And within 2 months, he made $30,000, okay? 10K in his first month and 20K in his second month, and he's not stopping. Let me make something clear too, okay? Teddy is not special. I don't mean that in a bad way, okay? He's a good dude. I mean that in the best way possible, okay? Because that means you don't have to be special either. You just have to actually do it. He told me straight up, he saw the real systems, saw real businesses, and thought to himself, right, if I sit on this any longer, I'm just going to end up watch someone else doing it and be pissed at myself, right? That's literally it. We don't let everybody into the Agent Cartel. We get applications every single day and we end up turning people down, not necessarily because of the money, but because we only work with people who are actually going to put the work in, right? If you watch something like this and you're the type to keep scrolling, it's probably not for you, right? But if something shifted inside of you watching Teddy talk, you already know the deal, okay? The application link is in the description. Fill it out. Tell us about yourself, and we'll go from there. Spots are limited and usually don't last too long, but thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the other side.